Captain Marvel was flying. As she was flying towards the Krail during the Secret War, suddenly one of them would shoot a wormhole. As this wormhole would open, she would fall through it into the Hazbin world. As she looked around, she saw a red sky and buildings everywhere. Immediately get up and start to fly. As she would try to fly out of here, try to fly out of the place she was trapped into. As she flew, though, she would eventually hit a wall. The wall was the pride ring. As then she would punch it, causing it to shake. As she punched again and again and again. You see, there was a magic barrier stopping sinners from leaving. But now, if she just hit it hard enough, she could break it. But suddenly, she felt a voice behind her. As it said, "Stop!" As she turned around, it was Lucifer. Lucifer looked at Marvel. Marvel would look at him. As she said, "What are you doing?" Lucifer would say, "How did you get here? You're not a sinner. Oh, you can't be seen like that." He would snap his fingers as suddenly her skin would turn red and her eyes would turn pale and black. But this was just a disguise. She still looked the same underneath. This is just how she appeared. As Captain Marvel was ready to fight him, Lucifer would say, "Listen, don't fight me. You're the one in hell." "Hell? How is this?" And then she remembered the portal. Did it kill her? No, it didn't. This was some sort of mistake. This was an alien planet, right? It couldn't be hell. She would then demand to know more. As Lucifer would start to explain how hell works, say sinners aren't allowed to leave the pride ring. And, well, since you have a human soul, hell must consider you a sinner. Hell is like a living being with its own rules. I set them up, but I cannot control it now. It is my child that has gone rogue. As in she would say, "I'll just break it. If you break it, demons could leave. Sinners can go to earth. You really want a bunch of demons running around?" She would then sigh and say, "No. You better fix this soon." Lucifer would say, "I'll find a spell to bring you back. But tell me about your world." As Lucifer and Captain Marvel walked, Captain Marvel would tell Lucifer about her world. Now, most of her missions were top secret at this point, but considering he's literally the devil and in hell, it shouldn't matter. As then Lucifer said, "Well, to keep your cover, I guess I can make you stay at this hotel." "Why me?" "Because I don't have to deal with you, and I could tell you're a good person at heart." Marvel would just nod. As then she was about to fly, Lucifer would say, "Oh, don't fly. That'll probably give away your cover. I mean, people here have all sorts of powers, but not to fly without wings." She would then nod and sigh as she would walk to the hotel and knock on the door. As Lucifer called Charlie and told her everything, Charlie would open it and say, "Welcome, welcome, come in." As then Charlie would bring her alone. With Vaggie, Charlie would say, "I heard everything, and you're welcome to stay until we figure out how to get you back." Vaggie would say, "You actually believe her? Look at her. She has all this power, and she's humanoid. I don't trust it. Clearly, she's secretly an exorcist or something." As then Marvel would say, "Exorcist, what's that?" As Charlie would look at her and say, "Exorcists are angels that come down here once a year to wipe out sinners permanently." She was shocked. An angel would do this? But she could fly up to heaven and ask them why. But, she decided not to because, well, she just got here. As then Vaggie and Charlie would talk, eventually Charlie would give Marvel a room. As she would start to walk towards her room, Angel would run up to her and say, "Oh, I was hoping the new one would be a hot guy, but it's not." As Angel walked off, Captain Marvel would say, "Well, I've never had that reaction to me before." As then she would simply go and lay down. As she would have dreams of battle, dreams of war, and dreams of the things she left behind. As she would wake up later that day, as she was eager to get back in the battlefield, she would then walk down. As she thought about flying back, but she promised not to. She knew breaking the barrier was a bad idea, but she had to get back. As these thoughts raced through her head, suddenly she would hear, "Do you want breakfast?" As she looked down, it was Nifty. As Nifty would then giggle and say, "Usually I like bad boys, but you're kind of strong, aren't you?" "I can tell. Tell me, are you bad?" Captain Marvel would say no, as then she would go, "Aw," as then she would walk away. As then she would eat breakfast and go to the bar. As she would look at Husk, Husk would say, "So, what's your story?" Captain Marvel would say, "If I told you, you wouldn't believe me." As then Husk would say, "Cryptic. Huh, I like it. Stay here as long as you want." As then Captain Marvel drank. As she drank and drank and drank. Usually she wasn't a heavy drinker. With everything going on, she deserved a good drink here and there. As then she would wobble around, smiling and laughing. As she did this, suddenly Angel would walk in with Sir Pinchas. As they were talking about something, Captain Marvel would fly in and say, "Hey, how are you doing?" As Angel would say, "Are you flying?" As then she realized what she did as she landed to the ground. As suddenly Charlie would run and grab her and drag her to her room. As then Angel would say, "You think she's sharing baggie with her?" As then Serpentis would say, "That's scandalous, but probably." As then we cut to Captain Marvel, Charlie. As Charlie would say, "How could you? Seriously, I thought you were a superhero, but you're making a mockery out of yourself." Captain Marvel would say, "I can't be a superhero when there's nothing to protect." Charlie would say, "Protect this hotel, protect us." Marvel knew that she was right. She sighed and said, "Sorry, I'm not myself. I miss home," as she would start to cry. As then Charlie would hug her, as they would share a moment. As they would sit down and begin to talk, Charlie would tell her about her childhood, about how she felt distant from her father, but she knew he cared. As then Captain Marvel would tell her about her life, how they told her she couldn't do things. She told her that she couldn't do things just because she was a woman, but she worked against it. She fought against it, and she worked to become better. And for that, she's a better person now. As then they would both smile at each other. One day, as Marvel was there, Lucifer would come back, as she and him would talk alone. As Lucifer would say, "I've almost found it, but can you do me a favor?" Marvel would say, "What? Protect this hotel." She would sigh and say, "I will. Listen, I know you don't..." "Wait, what?" "Yeah, I was a superhero. Of course I would help. Why do you think I would say no?" Lucifer would say, "Well, I don't know. Helping out demons isn't really the most heroic things. You may be demons and sinners, but hey, deep down I can tell you have a good heart." Lucifer would say, "Thank you." As then she would smile, as Lucifer then walked down. As then she would sigh, as Alastor would walk up and say, "So you're an alien, huh? An alien because you're not from this universe." As she would look and say, "What? Who? Why? Are you listening to us?" Alastor would laugh and say, "I know all about your little secret, and I can tell everyone, unless you do a little thing for me," Alastor would say as he laughed. As then Captain Marvel would sigh and say, "What is it?" "Well, I said little, but this might actually be pretty big, but for you it might be little." As she said, "I don't like these half answers, half questions. Tell me." As then Alastor would say, Fine. "You have the power to fly to heaven, yes?" She would say, "Yeah." "In this fight before it happens," as Alastor would throw her an angelic spear. "It's the only way to destroy an exorcist. Go up there and wipe them out." She would say, "Are you insane? Why would I do that? You're going to have to fight him anyway. Besides, this makes it easier." As she was going to attack Al would say, "I wouldn't do that if I were you. If I wanted to, I could destroy this whole place." As then he would disappear into the shadows, as she would sigh and start to think about it. Alastor made some good points. They're going to attack them anyway. Might as well attack them first, right? She decided to go against everyone's wishes, except for Alastor's, of course, and fly right towards heaven. As in this world, heaven and hell were connected. It wasn't heaven, earth, and hell. It was heaven and hell, and earth was on a different plane. As Captain Marvel flew up straight to heaven, she passed straight through the clouds, as all the exorcists looked at her, shocked. Then she would say, "Where's Adam?" Adam would walk up to her. She would say, "I haven't heard anything good about you, only bad, but I want to give you a chance. Call off the exorcist, and I'll let you live." As he said, "Hell no, I won't," as he would charge at her, and she would say, "Last chance." As he refused, she would then throw a spear straight through his skull, taking him out. As then she would grab the other exorcists and throw them out, punching them and knocking them all out, using her insane power. She wasn't out to destroy. She was just out to cripple them so she wouldn't see them do it again. And as she flew down to hell, Alastor would say, "Congratulations," as suddenly Lucifer would appear. Then Lucifer would show up, as Captain Marvel would say, as in Lucifer say, "Shut it. You're lucky I just found a way for you to leave. What you did, it broke our contract, all of our rules. Just leave." A portal would open up, as she would sigh and fly through it, as then she would wake up back in the shield helicarrier. As she wondered, was that really a dream, or did any of that really happen? I guess she'll never know. And that's going to leave things off. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share with all your friends. Hope you'll enjoy this video. I know I did. It was fun to make. Captain Marvel is a really cool character. I remember when, you might have forgot about this, but back when that movie was about to come out, everyone on the internet was hating on it. Everyone was saying that it was going to flop.
that it sucked, that they didn't really treat women like that, which they did back in the 1960s and stuff like that. Heck, your grandma probably needed her husband to pull money out of her bank account. It's just how it was, you know what I mean? The movie accurately depicted that, and I don't know why everyone hated it. I think because they didn't want, I don't know. Even some women were against it, being like, we're not treated like that, or just propaganda or something. We want manly movies, just some of the dumbest things ever, because Batman's manly, Hulk's manly. We can have some feminine, cool characters. You know what I mean? Manly women or feminine women, I don't care. And it did amazingly. It made over $1 billion. $1 billion. It was an amazing movie. But if you look up Captain Marvel hate, this one guy made like 50 videos on it. And now, I don't hear anyone say they hate it. I don't hear anyone talk about the hate. But back in the day, this movie got a lot of hate before it came out. Like, everyone thought it was gonna fail. Everyone just thought, even PewDiePie said something. I don't think he said it was gonna fail, but he said he didn't like the actress, which is one thing. You know, you can not like someone. You know what I mean? And, which, I don't really know her myself, so maybe that's a valid point. I'm not getting into that, but it was just insane. And then, it just blew up. It did really well, and everyone forgot about it, which to me says that sometimes people don't know what people want, you know what I mean? And back in the day, oh my god, like, now it's called woke. Before woke, it was SJWs, social justice warriors. And there was so many channels doing anti-SJWs, which they were annoying, but at the same time, I don't know if you should make an entire channel about it, because at that point, you're just annoying as they are. Because, like, oh my god, and all these videos and stuff, like the culture wars. If you think the culture war is bad now, go back in 2016. It was insane. At a certain point in time, the internet's biggest enemy, where people with dyed hair. I'm not even joking. It was insane. I don't know if I know it's still around, but it's not nearly as big as it used to be. Like, oh my god. If you guys remember that, let me know down in the comments. Anyway, love you all so much. Thank you for being here. I enabled a new feature where you can post things on the community. I put it where it censors inappropriate stuff. I don't know how good that is. If I do see some bad stuff, though, I will make it so I have to approve it, which means it might take forever because I have, stuff going on. But yeah, now you can post whatever you want in my community part of my channel, so have fun with that. I won't be on there much because, to be honest, I'm rarely on my channel anymore, except for when I'm posting videos, honestly. But I will still look there every once in a while, so you might see me. And just, yeah, have fun with it. Love you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me. Peace out. And oh, thank you for the suggestion. Thank you for suggesting this idea. I almost forgot. Peace.